Boxing Bros UK. I'm one of them. Be one of them yourself.
Hello everybody, this is Boxing Bros UK here. I am the host, Boss Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew the Boxing Brain. The topic of the day is post-fight review of Josh Taylor and what's he called again?
Echo Esserman, something like that.
The guy from Nottingham. Take it away.
Yeah.
Mate.
Well, listen, three losses in a row. You could argue 4 losses in a row for Josh Taylor now. The first most pertinent question, Chris, has got to be, where does Josh Taylor go from here? Obviously, first fight with Queensbury. So, obviously wanted to, in front of his home crowd, wanted to put on a show. He was clearly disappointed. What does he do? What does he do now, do you think? Next.
I'm talking about my burger. Well, in the fight, it was a fight of 2 halves. Josh Taylor started strong. Echo nicked a few a round or two maybe in the first 6. But then he started to come on strong and take over. I think he's still got a lot left. He's just not as good as he once was. He's not as good as he once was, but he's still very, very good. He might even be able to sneak win a title maybe. But I very much started, probably not world title level actually, just below world title level.
Barrios
for a title, even got to count on himself.
Maybe the winner of Barrios versus Pacquiao, Chris. If that
What a joke! Oh, we don't want to get that.
That's a different video. That's a different video. So do you think? My next question then is obviously this was his first fight at 147. Obviously, I'm guessing a little bit older, struggling to sort of make 140. A lot of killers in that division. Everyone seems to be moving up to 147. Seems to be a bit of a fun division now. A lot of people moving up to it. Didn't seem to. I mean, normally at 140, he's able to use his kind of size a little bit more and bully people a little bit more in the ring. If anything, after the 4th round, when Taylor started to gas, he was the one being bullied by the I'll say much bigger, the more natural welterweight in there. That's what it looked like to me, Chris. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely. Echo was just bigger and stronger, and it seemed like he lost a step, around the 4th round, and he was using experience to get through the fight. Moving when he could, feinting when he could, like poker face. He's knackered, but he was acting like he wasn't doing these little old man tricks. When you old man people boxing it. Experience, you get that, but and I just think he just can't. Sorry, what was the question? Yeah, he just can't. He just couldn't maintain it. He just couldn't maintain it throughout the whole fight, and I think, but he still has a lot left, and I do think that going on next, he can still be in good fights. He doesn't have to retire. It's not world level anymore. That's all.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate. I like to, just to make. I mean, what some people might be saying, I don't necessarily attest to this, but what some people out there might be saying is that I always keep getting his name wrong, the opponent he faced. He's probably British level. I mean, he's 36 now himself. He's actually older than Josh Taylor, although he didn't look like the older guy in there to me, that's for sure. And I don't know whether Josh Taylor's been living the life, maybe getting on that Scottish whiskey and haggis too much. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm only...
Go on.
But do you think he's probably only around British level, and he did go life and death with him? So is that not cause for concern?
Well, I would say that I'd say
or activity. Maybe
I know he lost to Catterall, but I think they're about European level, maybe fringe world level contenders. I think he's a bit better than that. I do believe that. So, and I just think that and Josh Taylor's at that same level or just below it, so he can still, with his name, I like him to fight Ryan Garcia. I think he can beat them guys.
Yeah,
your Haney's, they're fucking shit. They've got no balls.
Nearly went with that with the title, didn't we, Garcia next? But yeah. I mean, Josh Taylor was, at the end of the day, I'm going to give him his props, and I know you will as well. And he's had a fantastic career, former undisputed champion. He's the losses other than this fight, obviously, this is probably the worst loss, but he's been a bit inactive. Teofimo Lopez, Jack Catterall, no shame there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that was going to be my next question for you, Chris. There's loads of fun fights. If he doesn't, I don't know what his aspirations are. His aspirations might just be money now, because he's kind of done it. He's been undisputed champion. There's a lot of fun fights out there potentially for him, though, isn't there? Like even domestic dust-ups, like Ben. Yeah. But what would you like to? What would you like to see him do? If he's going to go on for another few years, what were the sort of fights you'd like to see him in?
Look, if he's going to go on for another few years, he's got to take the mentality of Derek Chisora. Like, I'm in this game because I love it and I love fighting and I want money. You don't always have to be a world champion. If you've already been there and done it, I know Derek Chisora never did it, but when he competed at world level for a bit, then that now he just fights for the money and he's in fun fights. So make fun fights, like maybe fight Conor Benn, because I don't think he might. It's a 50-50 fight. We don't know if he's ready because he got old man by Eubank Jr. Taylor could old man him in there as well with his experience. He can fight Garcia, Haney, like they're nowhere near. Haney's been at world level before, but he's shell shocked. So I think he could give him a good fight, and I think if he fought Garcia, I think he probably beat Garcia. Like right now, I think he's got that. I don't rate Garcia that much unless we see something different. You can't judge him on his last fight.
Romero would be a good fight.
Well, just being fun, good fights that are 50-50. He might lose, he might win. However, I don't think Josh Taylor loves boxing like that because obviously his habits outside of the ring. I don't know personally what I've heard, so I don't know. I think he's just doing it.
I've heard this as well, Chris. I've heard this. I was going to ask this because this is pure speculation. I just want to make this clear, pure speculation. But I have heard he hasn't maybe lived the life the way maybe an Usyk does or an AJ. I'm not saying that he should do it. At the end of it's his life. He's made a lot of money. He's been a champion. Who am I to say? But I do wonder, and we know at the light, when you're at heavyweight, cruiserweight, heavyweight, you know, age isn't as much of a factor. You mature a bit later. I think when you're at kind of lightweight, light middleweight, welterweight, all around those sort of weights, I think age does catch up with you quicker. You know, he's 34. If he maybe hasn't been living the life and he hasn't been that active, is that maybe why we saw him gas after 5 rounds? I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Well, do you know why it makes sense? Because you're absolutely 100% right on that, Andrew. Absolutely, because I'm not saying that I know for a fact, but what I'll say is when he got caught, pissed out of his head, and being racist to bouncers and all that, get himself nicked, going caught. That was like the first time he'd really been caught doing something like that. Who gets caught doing like that? If you think that that's the only time they've done that, it isn't. Because they've done it loads of times, it's just not been in the papers and not been caught for it. So that tells me he's a fighter when he's out of training camp, and that's probably why he's so inactive. He likes to have a bit of a bevy, likes to eat, likes his food. He has to come back in shape longer.
He is Scottish, Chris, after all.
Yeah.
That's always the impression I get. You know, they love to have a good time. They like to go out and drink, and you know, it's a bit of a cultural thing. And sometimes, I mean, we saw this with Ricky Hatton. You know, we've seen this with a lot of fighters. You know, Andy Ruiz, when he became world champion and a millionaire, you know, he's eating, you know, double takeaways and pizzas and getting on it and all the rest of it, and enjoyed his life. But yeah, I think that's it for me on the questions for Josh Taylor. And anything else you wanted to add, Chris? Anything else you wanted to add?
I just think, Taylor just needs to be in fun fights. He's not going to be a world champion again. I very much doubt it. And just if he be in fun fights and live the life. But I just think that he's only in it for the money. So next time he fights, it's going to probably be in about a year, and he's going to lose because someone's going to use his name to boost up their fighter. But
he'll probably look for the Conor Benn one, Chris, because that, just to quickly end on it, because that would do massive numbers. Scotland v England, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So that might be what him and his team look at.
Do you know what? I think that'll be a good comeback fight for Conor Benn as well.
Yeah, good name as well. If he beats Josh Taylor, yeah. Well, I could see that being made. People, but anyway, leave in the comment you think we're talking shit, you know, or you know, let us know.
All right. Like and subscribe, leave a comment.